Okay. Now, based off the reports that I've read online, it's looking like Juventus have to pick one of the two. Conceicao, Kolo Muani. And it's because a lot of their finances, their hands are tied behind their backs. They have to sell players in order to sign players. So what's on the table? What are the cards that Porto and PSG are revealing? Kolo Muani is being reported 10 million loan fee with a 30 million obligation to buy. So this time next year, if Juventus move forward with this deal, Kolo Muani would have cost in total 40 million. Actually, no, 41 million. Because apparently last year, they took him on a 1 million loan fee in January. 41 million, Kolo Muani. Now we've all seen what he can do. The second option is Francisco Conceição. Now it's also being reported he has a 28 million, 30 million release clause from Porto. Porto want the money now. They want it now. Juventus are telling them, listen, let's take him on another 1 year loan with an obligation to buy. There's no getting out of it. We have to pay you. So which one should Juventus get? Like, my question to you guys is, pick one. Of course, in a lot of you guys' minds, you'd rather keep both. Pick one, and why? Who would you rather keep? For me, this one is so easy. Oh man, I'll be so honest with you guys. Like, for me, this one is such an easy question. I would keep Kolo Muani. Like, regardless of whether or not Juventus get Osimhen, if they don't, Kolo Muani for me is a good player. Like, Kolo Muani, what he done in a Frankfurt shirt was so impressive. It got him moved to PSG. At PSG, he was more the utility player, and I actually sympathize with him so much because in my opinion, his season at PSG, when Kylian Mbappe was there, he was basically the backup dancer, if you know what I mean. Like, have you heard that song by Stormzy, My Man's a Backup Dancer? Have you heard it? Basically, he was just like the supporting act to somebody like Mbappe. You have to feed Mbappe. You have to provide for him. You have to do all the work that Mbappe doesn't do off the ball. This is Mbappe's PSG team. And I feel like it took so much away from his overall game. And that's why so many PSG fans never really got to see what Kolo Muani could actually do. Because he was always playing as a supporting act to somebody like Kylian Mbappe. And that's why when I look at his time at PSG, I say, like, it's a bit unfair. It really, really, really is. And when he came to Juventus, and that first month where he was on fire, he was scoring goals, a lot of people were sat watching him like, he's good. He's good, he's decent, not too bad. For me, I like Kolo Muani because as a striker, I like him because of the fact that he works hard. I'll be honest with you guys. He works hard, he tracks back, he presses from the front. I feel like his hold-up play is very, very, very good. Maybe sometimes he needs to release the ball quicker. He can hold up the ball. He can dribble in tight areas. Like, come on. Has anybody forgotten the goal against Inter when he got the ball within the 18-yard box, done the little Zidane roulette spin, gave it to Conceicao? Like, this is a striker that's good in tight areas. He's good when there's space in behind because he's fast. He's very physically gifted. He's versatile. That's another thing that I like about him. Like, even when you look at him at Frankfurt, when you look at him at PSG, especially when you look at him in a France shirt, he plays all over the place. Left, right, leading the line. Do I think he's the most prolific of goal scorers? No, not really. And that's why I've never ever petitioned for Kolo Muani to be the out and out number 9 for Juventus. I've never ever petitioned for it. I know what his weaknesses are. I feel like in front of goal, his finishing can be very, very, very inconsistent. Like, sometimes he comes across like a person that scores the difficult ones, but misses the easy ones. And I feel like that's the story of Kolo Muani everywhere that he's been. France, like, Kolo Muani is the reason why Messi won the World Cup. Anyways, let me put my agenda aside. Not the most clinical. We've seen it in a Juventus show. Okay, now let's go on to the second option. Francisco Conceição. Like, whenever I sit down on social media and I see like any post related to Juventus, this dude is loved by the Juventus fan base. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Like, he's good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, some of the things that I've said about Kolo Muani, they definitely apply to him. He's young. He's dynamic. The one thing I will forever give this kid, and wherever he goes, he will always bring this to the table. He's got fight, I'll be honest with you guys. And I feel like sometimes that fight stands out more than all the other players at Juventus. And for that reason, everybody looks at him and says, wow, what a signing, what a player. He tracks back. He gets stuck in. Like, funnily enough, the one thing about Conceicao that I know after every single game, he's won 80% of his duels. Whether it, well, not in the air, that dude's like 5'5". But I mean, like, on the ground, he's always won like 15 out of 18 duels, 7 out of 10 duels. He gets stuck in. I love that in any player, defender, midfielder, or attacker. The thing I don't like about Conceicao, and the reason why, in my opinion, he's just very limited. He's very low IQ, in my opinion. Very, very, very low IQ. I've watched football for such a long time. Like, I watch too much football for my own health. Players that improve their IQ over age, I could probably count them on one hand. Like, so many players, you could see from a young age, they're physically gifted, they're technically gifted, but mentally, they're not gifted. 10 years later, you still criticize them over the same thing. This player, what a player. What an amazing 10 years. But what are his drawbacks? What are his weaknesses? Always made the wrong decision in the final third. The final ball wasn't there, but wow, do you see his skills? Wow, do you see how fast he is? Conceicao, for me, he's a tough watch. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, whenever I sit down and watch Juventus, for me, he's a tough watch. Because don't get me wrong, on some occasions, he does things which not many players at Juventus can do. Like, he's actually good at beating his man. But the way I look at the game of football, especially when it comes to wingers, your job is split into two. 1, beat your man. 2, find your man. You see what I mean? Like, it all makes sense. Beat your man. Find your man, as in your teammates. Conceicao, he beats his man, but he can't find his man. So you beat your man, but then you can't find your man. So that means you end up losing possession. I don't know. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, even like during the Nations League that Portugal went on to win, he scored himself a lovely goal. But even like outside of that goal, like, he's a player that's capable of scoring himself a goal. A nice goal, a very good goal. But it's like, even then I was watching him and I was like, wow. Like, he does good, but he does so much bad. And for me, 28 million, I don't know. I don't think he's worth it. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, as wild as this may sound, even if they were to negotiate 25 million, I don't think he's worth it. Like, like, do you know who he reminds me of? I don't know if any of you guys have ever, like, watched Arsenal on a consistent basis. Somebody like Martinelli. He's got the physical ability. Technically, he's good at beating his man. Get him in the final third and ask him to find a teammate. Get him in the final third and ask him to do the right decision. 8 times out of 10, he makes the wrong decision. And that's why, in my opinion, he will always be held back as a player. If you want to take the gamble and hope and pray that maybe after 1, 2, 3 years of hands-on coaching, of some consistency, of playing within the same team where there's now patterns of play and like there's a philosophy, there's a guidance, there's guidance that he can follow step by step, you're taking a gamble. It can either work out in your favour or it can't. But the one thing about Conceicao, and even watching him like during the Club World Cup, he had good moments. He really, really, really did. But he also had moments where I'm just there and I'm like, someone else in your position with a bit more brain cells would have made the right decision and Juventus would have gone on to score. Juventus would have gone on to create an attack. I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you guys. And as wild as this may sound, I like to apply this to a lot of players, especially during the transfer market. If a player is not in demand, I don't think he's good. Like, it doesn't always apply, but I feel like 7, 8 times out of 10, it does apply and it fits the narrative. If a player is in demand, if a player is good and he's attracting attention, and a lot of teams across the world are looking at him and saying, I want him in my team. I want him to be my right winger. There would be teams competing for him at Porto. Bro, like, let's be real. Let's be real. 28 million in 2025 for a player that's 22 years of age. It's a bargain. It's a bargain. You've got Crystal Palace in the Premier League signing Sporting's Diomande for 55 million. Clubs got money. So why is nobody looking at Conceicao? I always look at it like this. Why is nobody looking at Conceicao? Because nobody is truly convinced by what he can do. Listen, they're professional footballers. They're going to have good games. They're going to score you beautiful goals. Like, they're professional footballers for a reason. It's just the lack of consistency. And I don't know. I just think it's too big of a gamble for Juventus to go out and pay 28 million. And based off reports, it's looking like it's either him or bust. Conceicao, the main right winger next season at Juventus. I'll go bold. I'm not even joking. I might actually go bold. He drives me crazy. Like, he makes the wrong decision so many times. I don't know. Like, for example, you could apply this to somebody like Kolo Muani. Kolo Muani had a good Imperia's like Serie A campaign for Juventus last season. He had a good Club World Cup. There's now teams across the world that want him. Chelsea are looking at him, even though I don't feel like they signed him because they've just gone out and paid 60 million for Joao Pedro. But Chelsea are looking at him. I saw a report today which said Arsenal are looking at him. There's clubs across the world looking at Kolo Muani, and for good reason. Because when you watch him, you see a lot of the fundamentals. Yeah, you see a lot of the fundamentals that he has in his locker book. When you look at Conceicao, you don't see the fundamentals. You see fight, you see hunger. You see a player that's willing to take on his man every single time. But sometimes taking on your man every single time is not the right solution. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm guessing you guys have gathered which one I would pick. Well, I told you guys at the beginning of the video. For me, Kolo Muani, the overall package coming up to 41 million, or Conceicao, 28 million, I edge more towards Kolo Muani. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, don't get me wrong. If Juventus can agree something with Porto, like 15, 20 million, it's worth a gamble. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely worth a gamble. But I still wouldn't say he should be the out-and-out winger. Juventus need themselves some quality on the right-hand side, man. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, you got Jonathan David. He scores goals. You've got Kenan Yildiz, who speaks for himself. Conceição, like, it's nice against El Ain. It's nice against Wydad Casablanca. It wasn't nice, like, against who did Juventus get knocked by? Real Madrid. It wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. And plenty of times last season in this area, it wasn't nice. Like, you see what I mean? But listen, I already know what the majority of you guys are going to say. You're going to say Conceição, what are you talking about? Listen, we'll talk about it when the season starts, if he does sign a new deal. Now, if you're new, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on another one.